What's up, guys? Shotty T here with another Alliance War video. This is Alliance War Season 19. I believe this is the third war of the season. I didn't film the second one. And this is just going to be, I'm going to title this one Quaking Different Types of Opponents, because some of these opponents I faced not used to Quaking, and you'll see that in one of the fights. But their first one, we have Invincible Women on Ebb and Flow Knockdown, and I had posted this in a previous video. On the Ebb and Flow Knockdown, normally the protection is active, and then once you knock them down, it'll go into like a cooldown before it pops up again. But as you can see, the concussion pretty much disabled that. So it would just end up being as a standard Quake fight. And the next fight here, we're going to have Ebony Maw. Now, of course, I've quaked him plenty of times in the past, because he used to be the Map 6 Alliance Quest mini boss. I usually bring Quake for him. So it was a pretty straightforward fight. So again, we're going to bypass the ebb and flow by knocking them down. And as you can see, the protection is gone and it doesn't come back. So just interesting bypass at that particular node. So that was a pretty quick fight there. All right, next fight we're gonna have Thing. This is not ebb and flow. This is just like some power thing, but again, I'm not gonna be building power. So just a matter of just standard Quake and Shake once again. And of course, I've quaked Thing in the past. So this is just a basic fight. That was a good next up the heavy there. All right, one more round of Aftershock should do him in. All right, there we go. All right, so this very next fight, this is probably my most impressive fight ever. I mean, it sounds like a hyperbole, but not quite. I mean, this is a pretty good fight. So this is Nick Fury on, I think this is the Power Snack one, like a buffet type. Now, I did duel against him a few times, and he threw me off on a couple occasions, because when you have him at the end of his first life, and if he's under a stun and it happens to push him to the end of his first life, of course he'll immediately purify all the debuffs. So if you're used to waiting for the stun time to end, you have to be on your pins and needles to make sure that you're ready to Quake the next attack, because once he gets in that Fury stage, he has that Fury buff active, and having a class disadvantage, those bleeds will probably kill you. So that's the reason why I kind of added the boost, the invulnerability boost, just to be safe. And there's the Power Snack there. As you can see, it gave him a little bit of a bar of power. But once I get that dexterity back, the Power Snack is no longer applicable the rest of the fight. So far so good with this Nick Fury Quake fight. And the Aftershock is pacing pretty well. And again, I love these 5-minute timers. I can take Quake in some fights that normally would take forever, or time out if it was a 3-minute fight. But as you can see, it's backup recovery, so he does gain some of that health back. And of course, yes, I play poker, but notification kind of came out of nowhere there, but didn't ruin my focus. It's added to the degree of difficulty. But all right. Almost a minute and a half into this fight, and nearly half his first life down. And keep in mind, when he gets to his second life, it'll pace down at a faster rate, all the way down to 30% health. So time should not be an issue here, just a matter if I can finish the fight without dying. And so far, I haven't even taken a block hit. So now I have to worry about the next aftershock because it will take him to the end of his first life. So I have to be prepared to Quake again. But luckily, he just decided to dash backwards, so that made it easy to transition. So this is a long time quaking here, but as you can see, the life is going down quicker because of the aftershock and the decoy degeneration. A couple more aftershocks should do it. All right, so with this last aftershock, I kind of calculated that it'll expire where I don't have to get that last quake heavy hit, like just go out like that. So I kind of posed for him and he fell. So that was kind of funny. Now, it did kind of tire my fingers just a little bit, but this next fight wasn't so clean. Of course, the running flow global, so you got to deal with that. So this is Oscillate, Mixed Master, and Aggression Prowess. None of those will come into play really for against Quake, except for the Oscillator part. And for some reason, the heavy did not trigger at the beginning of the fight, and I lost half health with that Fury passive that she has. So I'm already behind the 8 ball, so it kind of just threw me off. And I don't think I've had any Quake fights against Rogue, and I probably should have dueled first because her attacks are kind of elongated, especially that second medium. So it did kind of throw me off a little bit. Make sure I identified what the second medium looked like or what the last light attack looked like in case it was a 5-hit combo, so I can reset the Quake meter. But I'm gonna end up dropping my heavy, and it's really gonna cost me the fight, really. Like I said, the power gain is not an issue because of the Quake, but I just end up dropping my heavy, and I thought that I could get away with it, but she ends up killing me with a combo, unfortunately. So you'll see it soon. And the funny thing about it happened while she was in this stage, like when she didn't have a Fury passive. You figured I would have been able to survive a combo with this amount of health left, but as you can see, she hit pretty hard apparently. So I decided to revive and go back in there because that's what we do. Like I said, I don't want to deal with the other aspects of this node, and I decided to put on a combat regeneration boost as well. So I had plenty of those. Like I said, the second time fighting her, now I'm getting more used to her animation, so now I can identify the second medium attacks. All right, one more aftershock should do it. All right, so next fight, we're gonna go jump right into the next fight. Let that 3%, that combat regeneration boost help for the next fight, so I can heal back. Now, one thing I really like about this node is that you have the crumbling armor, and I do have max willpower. So with this node also being like immune to ability accuracy reduction, that means that I'm going to be getting the armor break. So I just used that as an opportunity to passively heal myself this fight. So again, I don't get a chance to Quake against Captain Marvel movie that often. She does have some quick animations with some of her attacks. So, and I did accumulate some duel credits by participating in a solo arena event, so that way I can duel more often and get used to certain quirky opponents. And as you can see, I'm back at full health, so I probably could have saved the combat regeneration boost from that rogue fight, because I would have ended up healing it all back in this fight anyway, but it's all good. All right, I probably could have just heavied her right there, but when you get so used to quaking, you just want to just quake normal instead of just sticking the hit in there. But there we go. So next fight here, we're gonna have Gladiator Hulk, and again, this is, and for some reason kept clicking on the opponents. I had to zoom in to get into that fight. Again, this is another uncommon opponent that I don't get a chance to quake that often, believe it or not. So this is ebb and flow intercept, but we're just gonna ignore it, because I know why they placed Gladiator Hulk here, because every once in a while when you try to intercept him, you're gonna get that smash. So it's a pretty good placement, but we got Quake, doesn't matter. Just, I mean, 60% protection does make a big difference here. So yes, it means you're gonna Quake longer, which means you're more susceptible to make a mistake, which I do make a mistake in this fight, but not enough to kill me. I said I just don't, I'd rather do that than deal with the intercept portion and get smashed. So I get hit right there. But regain our focus. And I want to say I get hit again, but again, I don't die. All right, and that fight took about almost three minutes, which if it was the old timer, I would have been panicking there. Now we're gonna get some Quake on Quake action. Now, the cool thing about this, and I actually dueled this fight because I was trying to test something. So when you Quake and she throws a heavy attack, as long as your concussion is active when the aftershock charge is expired, if she puts some on you, you actually won't experience any aftershock damage or get stunned. As long as you have that concussion debuff active on the opponent. So, because I was debating whether I should bring magic into this fight and just keep it simple with the backdraft intercept, but at the same time I got the class disadvantage, and of course if you try to intercept Quake and don't, and she doesn't cooperate, hit into her block, the awakened version actually deals some damage back to you. But looking back, even with magic, I mean, it's not that big of a deal because with the limbo, I'll gain that health back anyway. So next time I'll use magic, and I do end up getting hit in this fight. But I'm just gonna fast forward through the rest of this because, like I said, you guys have seen enough of the Quake and Shake. Probably should have hit that for that Gladiator Hulk fight also. All right. It took forever. All right, next we got Rhino. Again, it's going to be Quake and Shake. And once again, this is a tricky opponent if you try to do your standard intercept. But I know a lot of people, when they fight against Rhino on this node, even if it's not with Quake, they don't even bother intercepting him. They just rather take a damage over time champ or even take Blade with the Ghost Rider synergy to ignore the protection node to an extent and not worry about it. So once again, this particular fight also has the crumbling armor, so I use that to my advantage to get that inflicted. And as long as I don't hit the opponent, that armor break debuff will stay on me. So essentially, it's like a healing station. So I will end this fight at 100% health. But once again, if you want to fast forward through this fight, go right ahead because there's really not much more to commentate. Only thing I will say is that Rhino does the atypical combo combinations. Sometimes he'll throw his light attack first and then he'll throw his medium attack like partway in the combo. So he really does test your combo recognition. A lot of times they'll start with a medium attack, or if they do start with a light attack, they don't implement their medium attack, their first medium attack. But anyway, but again, I had got used to this from a previous war fight, the one that wasn't recorded. And if you were patient enough to watch this whole fight, one thing you notice about the concussion is that it disables the unstoppable when he's dashing at you. So theoretically, if he has concussion active, you could try to do the whole, you can attempt to intercept him. So just a little tip there for those who want to use Quake and not quite comfortable doing the Quake and Shake. If you want to use the intercept while the concussion is active. But this fight is wrapping up now. There we we go. And now we're on to the mini bosses. Now, I did a quick look at the scoreboard. Like this opponent that we're facing heavily mismatched. So as you can see, they're still stuck in tier 1. They didn't even finish the BG. We swept them. So, but please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.